Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to YouTube 101. Today's episode is titled Consistency Builds Subscribers because being consistent does help you build an audience, which in the YouTube world is subscribers. That's how we measure our audience, and that was the number one question in the previous episode. I asked for what you would like to see, what was important, and everybody's like, more subs, how do I get more subscribers? It's kind of like climbing a ladder, and the way to get more subscribers or followers isn't just trying to get them. There are a lot of other ways to do that because you're finding people. You're not finding M&Ms, you're not finding Skittles, you're not finding numbers. Each one of these subscribers or subs is a person that's decided that you're interesting enough to follow, potentially for a long period of time, or at least until that you've become something that you were originally not, and they unsubscribed from you. And in order to avoid the unsubscription and to gain the subscription to begin with, you need to be consistent with who you are and what you do. And there's much more to that than there would appear on the surface. I mean, that's the simple advice. Like, yeah, just be consistent. Well, okay, well, how do we be consistent? Number one, you want to be consistent with who you are, and in keeping to my own advice, I'm going to tell you that this series is brought to you courtesy of Elgato. One of the things I have consistently done on my channel is every time there is a sponsored video or product or content, I always tell you who the sponsor is and why I work with them. And in the case of Elgato, they contacted me and asked me to make a series to help people use their capture cards better and get better at doing YouTube stuff. And I was like, well, you don't want me to sell capture cards? No. I was like, you don't want me to shamelessly pimp or promote your site or Twitter or something? They're like, no, we want the people that already bought our products to get the best out of them, to use them and to enjoy them, and we want you to help people make YouTube videos and make stuff like that. So that's why I work with them, and that's one of the things that I've always done consistently on this channel, is explain my relationship with the companies and why I work with them, and it's gone very, very well. Some of the other things you can do is be consistent with your upload schedule. This is something that I didn't know when I first started YouTube. I would upload whenever I want, and I got kind of random results, and that's because I was kind of uploading at random times and doing different things. You want to be consistent with your schedule so that your audience will know when to expect your videos. They will know what day of the week, what time, what the titles will look like, what the thumbnails will look like. They will have a sort of feel for you, and they will know what to look for. Doing a bunch of random stuff, you can get lost in the kind of wash of the subscription box. For me personally, once per day is best. I do very well uploading videos once per day. I'm on a good one-a-day schedule. I don't often miss days, and because I mean, I do produced content most of the time, so it takes a little bit of work, but with some forethought I can take some days off and go on trips and stuff. I can make a few ahead of time. It's not so bad. But this schedule might not be best for you. Depending on what you want to do and your personal life and your free time, some other schedules might work better. Daily gets you more exposure, more chances for big success or something like that, and I personally think it's the best, but some people can't do daily. 3 to 4 times a week, or approximately every other day, is also good. It's easier on you, easier for you, your personal workload in your life, and oftentimes if you have more time to work on your content, it's going to be better. The more time you have to polish something, the better it's going to be. If you're doing a sort of higher, produced content, interviews, news, you work on a show, something that requires a lot of editing, once per week might be a better option. If your just personal life is very, very busy, then once per week might be a better option. But the goal, even if you're doing one a week, it needs to be at the same time, same day, every week, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, something like that. If you're doing less than 3 times a month, I'm going to highly recommend against this. I've had a lot of people ask me, what's with my channel? I'm not getting any subscribers, and I look on it and they only upload about 1 video a month. And when you do that, when you've got a whole month in between your uploads, and you got to remember the internet time is like 100 times normal time, people will forget about you and who you are and what you're doing. So unless you're doing some really, really awesome, extreme, out of this world, real life production with travel and budgets and something crazy, if you're uploading less than once a month, or less than 3 or 4 times a month, it's going to be very, very bad for you. You need to move to the once a week or to the every other day kind of schedule, unless you're doing very high-end production. At the end of the day, just pick whichever schedule works with you and stick with it. You have to stick with it and be consistent with it so people know when to look for your content. And speaking of when, timing is also very important. Being consistent with upload times means that people know what time of the day to check for your new videos, which means you'll be at the top of the subscription box or the feed or whatever it is that they're calling it these days. Uploading at different times is bad. People won't know when to look for you or kind of what they're looking for sometimes, and you can get lost in a wash, or you get out of habit, and it's not very good, especially wildly different times. What I personally prefer to do is I upload somewhere between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm not going to tell you the exact time because then everybody will copy that thinking that's the best, but I have a set time that within 30 minutes plus or minus I upload to every day, and that means that all 500,000 people, or well, actively maybe like 100,000, the ones that follow me and know my work, they know when to look for my videos. They know when to expect it. They know what the thumbnail is going to look like. Thumbnails, being consistent with those is important too. Picking a good art style, the good text style, something that's easy to read, letters that are big and blocky, and you can read them even when they're very, very small, and have nice outlines and something that's unique to you and your channel. That means people know your content. It sticks out. They know, okay, I'm definitely going to watch a Drifter video because he's got that particular font and it's uploaded at this particular time, and there's no mistaking that. The next bit of advice is a little bit more personal. You need to be consistent with who you are and what you upload. There's a lot of people, myself included, I've made this mistake a million times, and I do continue to make it on more occasions than I'm too proud to admit, is that variety is nice, but too much of it will kill you. Too much variety is bad for your channel. If you think about YouTube and the internet in general, it's the biggest niche market bazaar or website or store that you could possibly imagine. If there is anything in this entire world, and you can think about porn as an example, that you're looking for, you can type this into Google, or if you're like over 100 years old, you can type it into Bing, and you will get results for exactly that thing that you're looking for. And because of this, the internet is very, very specialized. And if you said, I wanted a variety of YouTube channel that uploads a million different things, well, there's a million different people that do variety, and how are you going to stand out amongst that? And variety is kind of the opposite of consistency. But niche is where you want to go on YouTube. Doing a very consistent niche market specialty kind of production will maybe not guarantee you growth or success wildly, but it does help you. This channel is built off of Call of Duty gun reviews, but everybody and their grandmother says this gun is best, use that, do this strategy, this tactic. But the thing that I did differently than not necessarily everybody, there's a few other people that did it, but differently than most people, is very technical gun reviews. I did hard numbers, rates of fire, fire times, exact damages, range, that sort of stuff. And I had a lot of help doing this. It wasn't just me. The Den Bros helped a lot. But there weren't a whole lot of people doing any sort of scientific or hard analysis on a game. It was all opinion and no fact, and I brought the fact to it. And because of that, I've been very successful. If I had done I don't know what I could have done differently, but there's a million different paths. Some people do a very specific style of vlogs. Some people are really funny at interviews. Some people do a good news show. Some people make dramatic, like entertainment type content, and they do very well with it. Some people just like to show off how good they are at games, or do live commentary, or whatever that floats your boat. But it's in your best interest to specialize and do one particular thing and do it well, instead of trying to do a million things and nobody really knows to search for you. Nobody knows what you're about or who you are and that sort of thing. You want to make yourself stand out, and that's the consistency that really, really helps. And variety can cause viewers to lose focus. That being said, you do need some degree of variety. If you make the exact same video every day, you'll get boring. But you need to have the variety in moderation. You need to have it toned down to where it truly is a nice special treat to see something different instead of what the audience was normally expecting. And the last advice is you have to be consistent with who you are in the videos. Not necessarily the same type of videos, but just who you are in general, either in real life if you're putting your real self out there, or some people have sort of a stage self or a fake self or a personality, and that's what I would liken to a lot of the rage-mentators, or gamers that rage at video games and they scream and they whine and they moan and it's funny. There's a great deal of that that's not real. Most of the audience knows this, but it's very funny. But if, let's say, a rage-mentator, I can't even say the word correctly, or somebody that's known for being vocal and angry and hard and aggressive, just comes out with this really happy self-help, hippy-dippy kind of video, and they're calm and they're peaceful, it's not what the audience is expecting for, and it's really kind of weird and unsettling. And those people that did believe that that was your true, 100% real self, they'll be a little bit disenfranchised. That suspension of disbelief will go away. And on the same kind of thing, if you put your real personality out there, which is what I do and what a lot of other people do, and then you sort of get tired of being you and you try to fake this rage or fake doing that, or we're going to copy somebody else and do what they do because it's successful, and just when you start trying to become something that you're not, and you show this sort of a deceptive face when you've been real for so long, you have the exact same problem. And nothing is worse than being a flip-flopper. And I really hate that. I get called a flip-flopper a lot. Like these days, if you change your opinion on anything, you're a flip-flopper. But you don't want to bounce around and change your content just based on what's popular. You want to either be true to yourself or true to your act. Well, that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.